Recording in progress.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking,
Smashed them. I got on smashed them. Everybody coming at you. Cut the music. Cut the music. Everybody, welcome to the Comedians of Wrestling podcast, the podcast where comedians dissect wrestling to an unhealthy degree. I am your host, the host with the most. With the most? What the fuck do I say next?
Stand-up, viral stand-up.
Viral stand-up about professional wrestling. Dan Black, a.k.a. Dansky Black Amora, a.k.a. Tanakatsu Tony, the Patreon. Don, a.k.a. Donnie Capri, from the time I went to Italy. A.k.a. the modern-day goof and spoof Raja, coming at you like Cleopatra. Baby, gubba, wee. I don't have the gabooey sound effect because the sound that's what I was trying to work on before this pod started. This thing just died on me. Hey everybody, welcome to the Comedians of Wrestling podcast. A little taste of the intro. We're coming off a hot SummerSlam. Oh my god, I'm getting a sound in my ear that you guys can't hear. So that's why I just keep repeating stuff because it's blocking me out. But yeah, anyway, all right. Well, I tried to do tech a new way, and it failed me. It failed me. Anyway, coming at you like Cleopatra. We are coming off a fucking hot ass SummerSlam in Nashville, Tennessee. As a matter of fact, I mean, Tullo's here. Tiptoe Tullo in the house, who was at Nashville for SummerSlam. He was at SummerSlam. The reason I bring that up, and I give you such a rushed intro, is because I was going to say it was hot because physically it was very hot there, from what I was told. Correct?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad though.
Oh,
But
okay.
during the day, it was like so hot and humid. It was disgusting.
The wrestlers looked very sweaty during this show.
Yeah,
And
you could
there
tell
was
it. A lot of out of breath wrestlers.
So do you think that, like, would you say as a dude there that, like, it was comfortable if you weren't exercising, but if you did exercise, you felt the humidity?
Yeah.
You felt like the thick air?
Yeah.
Like the dense air?
Yeah, it was. Inside the arena was actually quite pleasant. Not gonna lie.
I've been to Tennessee in the winter. I went for, I think Bonnaroo's in Tennessee. Am I wrong?
I have no idea.
I think it is in Tennessee. Can we look that up? And I'm saying that like there's someone doing it. It's me. Where is Bonnaroo? Where is a Yoda this?
Yoda.
It is in Nashville. Great
Texas.
Stage Park. It is 65 miles southeast of Nashville. Okay. Yeah, so I'm correct. And when I was there, it was pretty fucking humid. I was there, So, anyway, that all being said, this SummerSlam, I mean, Tullo, we'll get right into it. Patreon.com/comedians of wrestling. We have so much to talk about. Support this podcast. We'll do a bonus episode later in the week. It's summertime, so we took a little time off. But Tullo was also traveling to go to SummerSlam. But we've been up. I'll say this: we're up on our shit. And the most interesting thing to bring up right here, Tullo, is the fact that most of my texts are about WWE right now. Most of the heat I'm getting from my phone, most of the glow up, if you will, on my phone is people positively reacting to the WWE product. Even negatively, they're engaged in the WWE product in a way that I haven't seen in a bit. I, for example, just watched a full Raw before we recorded this. Live. I ended Raw live. It felt insane. It felt crazy.
I know, right?
And it was a really great Raw. Raw was pretty great. They set up a lot of cool shit, which we'll get into. And SummerSlam was amazingly fantastic show, very successful, which we will get into. But just overall, if this podcast had to have like a thesis that we're trying to prove here,
Yeah.
the state of WWE in a post Vince McMahon WWE, in a Triple H's WWE, let's call it the Steph and Triple H WWE.
So it's like
Seems to
it's like
be
it's
very
like
strong.
STEPHHH, right? That's their combo name. Steph.
Yes, it's Steph.
Steph.
The Steph.
The Steph era.
Yeah, or the era. So yeah, I would say all that. Well, if it was Stephanie McMahon is SM and Triple H is HHH, so it'd be like shaking my head. Anyway, in the shaking my head era,
Bro, it's
I would say
there's
it's exciting.
Listen, WWE is so fucking back right now.
'Cause
It's insane.
I think that we can have a full-on. We're gonna have a full-on, pretty positive episode, right? I mean, I'll probably point out small things that I nitpick here and there, but everything from the Riddle Rollins segment on SummerSlam to the Liv Ronda match to the obvious main event, big sexy main event, to the opening match, like all of it just really worked. It was really like a fucking great time. To even down to the venue. The venue was which we'll start there. I'll defer to you there. But the venue on TV, and I know you've watched it back too. But the venue on TV just looked so fucking fun for a SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean,
because that Nashville Stadium, my thought is this, Tullo, from TV, is that that Nashville Stadium doesn't look like it's able to host a Mania. I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't feel like, mage enough for a Mania, And they said it was like only 48,000 people there or something. It was not only, but for a Mania, that's low,
Yeah.
But felt really outdoorsy and very summery for a SummerSlam.
Well, they also had the whole other side of the arena blocked off. So, I mean, that's a huge thing.
What do you mean?
The side behind Hardcam, all the seats up top and down low were all blocked off. There was no seats on one side of the arena. It was all blacked out.
SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Why? Because it wasn't selling?
I guess, yeah, it wasn't selling, and then that was their plan. Like, I don't know.
Well, wait, what would be the logic to block that out?
To make sure that, I guess SummerSlam.
Well, only if the tickets aren't selling. If tickets aren't selling, then you want to make it look as packed as possible. On TV, it looked jam-packed.
Yeah. But they did a pretty good job of, I watched it back. They did a pretty good job of not showing like the other side of the arena. But if you watch, you could see that whole other side of the arena was closed off. But I will, here's to add to the thesis. What I've realized now is that
that's weird.
Yeah. Look up how many seats that stadium holds while I say this.
My guess is, I'm going to say, if you blocked off,
65?
how much of it was
I'm going to say
what percentage was blocked off?
I would say like 30% probably, maybe 40.
So it probably holds like 60 or 70.
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
So
if it holds 70, it could hold a Mania.
What I've realized is I've been at the 2019, the 2020. Oh no, I'm sorry. The 2019, the 2021, and the 2022 SummerSlam now, from Toronto to Vegas to here in Nashville. This was, Toronto was a lot of fun and a great weekend overall. But like this SummerSlam, and I went into it saying it. I said this was a perfect card. I said it live on the pod. I thought this was actually, I don't think I said it live on the pod. I think I tweeted it out, but this was a perfect card. It was a WrestleMania type of card. Titles were on the line. Storylines were maxed out. You had the Logan Paul match. You had the Pat McAfee match. Everything was set up for this to be a successful night, and I thought they just knocked it out of the park. The vibe was incredible in the building. There were people all over the place. Nashville, tip of the cap, is the craziest fucking place I've ever fucking stepped foot in my life, dude. These motherfuckers party so hard. The city was buzzing. It was buzzing not only just for fucking SummerSlam, but it was buzzing in general for a Saturday in August. Or, I'm sorry, Saturday in July. And I said, the Mania, man, apparently they're building a new stadium there. And it's going to be like a multi-billion-dollar stadium. I would highly expect Mania to be there within like the next 5 years, because that city and WWE loved it. They loved being there. I thought they did a killer job with the graphics, and I haven't stopped singing. It's a crazy town full of neon dreams. Everybody sings.
I think
Like,
that it was one of the more successful integrations of the city culture into the show. You know,
really, really good.
Um,
So well done. The pinball
so-
thing even looked cool. I don't even know why, but
I'm not sure what pinball has to do with anything, but I'll say this: Nashville, one of my favorite cities that I've hung out in. I did a Torco, like UCB, like touring company shows
Yeah.
there. I did like a full weekend there. We did like 3 shows, and then we would just party every night. Like we were pretty close to that whole like main strip, whatever that's
Yeah.
called, the downtown street.
dude, it's
You know what
crazy
that's-
there, man. Broadway.
Broadway, right? And that whole street is a fucking blast. And it's like not all. The cool thing is that when we were walking around, it wasn't all honky tonk, you know? Like
Yeah,
a lot
it's-
of it is, but then we would go into a random bar that would be like just someone just doing 90s covers, you know?
Yeah.
Like
It's-
that is one of the most fun places to walk around and get fucked up.
Let me tell you something. You were there, what, 10 years ago? It
No,
has
well, not
changed.
10 years ago. It was less. It was like 4,
Okay.
5 years. It
Well,
was
they
not
have
that long
put
ago.
up a ton of big venues there, like multi-story. Like Luke Bryan has one, and I think Jason Aldean has one. Like massive venues. These places were packed. Lines around the corner. There's about 150 bachelorette parties going on.
Yeah.
Streets shut down. Cops everywhere, so it actually kind of feels safe.
Yeah.
And every place is blasting live music, like it's billowing out into the streets. The neon lights, the bright lights. I'm telling you, man, that city is ready for Mania.
It's
Like,
kind of similar, like kind of a similar vibe to that, like 6th Street in Austin, from my memory. They're both very dope. You
I
know,
would say yes. This is what
Nashville
people
I
ask.
like more personally.
People are like, "Oh, is it like 6th Street?" And I'm like, "Let me tell you something. Nashville is it's way crazier than 6th Street."
Yeah,
Like,
I
and
agree.
it's
I agree.
It's like it's bigger and brighter.
It's less
6th Street
collegey
is like,
too, right?
yeah,
6th Street's too
6th
collegey.
6th Street's in the middle of UT. It's like, and it's
Yeah.
dark. It's not like well lit. It's
Yeah,
kind of grungy. Like they call it Dirty Six for a reason. Like that's what it is, you know?
right. The Nissan Stadium's capacity is 69,143.
Nice.
Yeah,
so that's right.
so
what's the percentages
it-
there?
and I think
accounted,
I'm
right?
wrong. I mean, it's where the Titans play. So
Yeah.
looks like you could hold a Mania there. You definitely can.
It was
It
like
just on TV doesn't look like that nice of an arena. Am I wrong? Not in like a bad way.
Yeah,
It has kind of like an old school open, like an old school open, like the Orlando one, the Camping World Stadium I've been to for Mania. I was there for
Yeah.
33, and that stadium is like a little too shanty for a WrestleMania in my opinion. But it's very like football open, like, you know what I mean, and so that makes the event feel so special, you know.
I mean, it was amazing. It felt like WrestleMania. It was dope. I had 6 seats. I was on the 10th floor. 10th floor. I was on the floor section 1, 10th row. Which is, it's funny because being down there, it's really actually kind of tough to see when you're that far back. You can't see anything that's going on outside the ring or around the ring. But
Yeah.
I mean, being down there in the thick of it, like, was so dope. It was just a great time. I got a really great seat. I know Harrison Woolner calls me out every time I'm sitting in good seats. He's like trying to get to the bottom of like why there's like this why I'm always sitting in good seats lately. He's like, "What do you got? Like endless amounts of money?" No, I have friends in good places, and I only buy the seats down low.
He's
when
got
they're
friends
in
in high places.
places.
Is it low places? The song?
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
it
friends in
is,
low
but
places.
high places make sense. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was it was cool. I flew down, was there for 24 hours, got the fuck out. I came home on Sunday. I felt like shit, and I was exhausted. But man, let me tell you, that show live, they delivered on so many fronts. I am like I'm all over the place right now, but like
We know.
who won SummerSlam? Like honestly, like who I think that's the best way to start is like who won
Well,
SummerSlam this
I
year?
kind of revealed that. I kicked this
Yeah.
podcast off with Brock music,
Yeah.
and I think that Brock was this was Brock's, in my opinion, this was Brock's best performance ever, maybe in WWE. Like and I don't say that lightly because Brock. I mean, let's just jump right to the main event, right?
Yeah.
That
As we
main
should.
event truly blew me away. I thought it was for me. That is what a 6-star match is. Okay,
Yeah.
now like not work rate shit, like not like like I love work rate wrestling. Don't get me wrong, you know.
Mhm.
But I don't need like New Japan, Dominion, like 55-minute matches that are super technical. I like watching those. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not against them, but they're not. That's to me, that's not what a 6-star match is. A
Yeah.
6-star match to me, and it's why I'll probably always gravitate towards WWE at the end of the day. You know,
Mhm.
and that's just you know, not. I mean, I love AEW. I've been on an AEW hot streak for a while. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not bailing AEW, but what I'm saying, when WWE's firing on all cylinders, they're a show that's like really embraced in the theatrics of professional wrestling and the production, high production value, and that will always like draw me back in. You know, like if Bray comes back and starts doing vignettes on WWE, like it's like all it takes for me to like be like, I could skip, you know, a high work rate match. You know what I mean? I'm more into that stuff. That's more what I like about wrestling. But I've learned to love it all, which is incredible. Which is why I think we're all the winners for having both companies. We get that.
Mhm.
But for me, like this use of these matches to me are like why I like professional wrestling.
Mhm.
Like I like the fact that it's all goes back to my one stand-up joke, the LeBron joke, right? I like the fact that like people go like you don't know what's gonna happen, you know,
Mhm.
and like oh I know what's gonna happen. It's scripted, you know,
Yeah.
and my brain is just like that is so unimportant to what you're watching, you know, because what you're watching is taking the base reality of a fight, right? Essentially like a boxing match, right? And just blowing that out from as simple as the referee got knocked out so he can't so then somebody cheats, you know? Like that's I don't care that that's scripted. I still don't know who's going to win the match and that's an exciting moment, you know? You create and you build tension. This match in particular was so fucking awesome to watch because me and Christina watched it together,
Mhm.
and she came in with such a sour attitude towards this match. Now, that being said, because she's like, they're doing Brock and Roman again, even she is like, she's like, does WWE have nothing else to put on for you guys? Like, we just went to WrestleMania and saw the same match. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, Christina, these guys have been wrestling for like 10 years. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I fly to all this shit, you know? And
Me,
watch
literally.
you watch this match completely subvert your expectations, like completely shock you and bring a completely fresh new take to a last man standing match. Right? It was just complete fun.
Yep.
It was the kind of match that had so much gimmickry, right? So much fucking creativity, so much foreign objectness, so much ridiculousness that you could never have in a sport. You know, like you could never have it. It's insane theater. People show up like I love that people in this reality, everybody's in on the joke. You know, essentially that like we showed up to watch these guys have a clean match, and instead, one guy showed up with a tractor and then he pushes the ring with a tractor and lifts it up on its side. You know, like that. That is about as good as it gets. Like you have to remember, like let's imagine this happened in UFC. Like one guy just leaves. You know, it's fucking great. Plus,
Yeah.
on top of it, I was sitting there explaining to Christina, I'm like, all right, yeah, they're fighting. I'm like, yeah, but this guy Austin Theory, he has the briefcase.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, what's the briefcase? I'm like, well, he could cash in and join the match. And she's like, well, how do you know that he can join? Like, how do you even know the rules? I'm like, oh, you watch it so long, you like pick up on the rules. Plus, Seth Rollins already did this. He could join the match. Then he run. They're both down, and then Christina's just like, that other guy's gonna show up now, right? And then he shows up, and then
Wow.
and then he shows up, and we were both so into it. He shows up, and then he gets knocked out quickly, and I'm like, that doesn't count as cashing in. He steals the briefcase because they have to announce that he's joined the match officially because there's the timekeeper over there. You know what I mean? See that whole area that they just destroyed? That's where the guy who decides that sits. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, then once Lesnar picked up Heyman, Christina's like lost it. Like, no, he's not gonna throw him. Okay,
Yeah.
it was just max fun. Brock Lesnar was having the time of his life. No?
Dude.
Has he ever had that much
Well,
fun?
here's the crazy thing is that we did not see that tractor or have any idea that tractor was over there
Yeah.
until that he went. Like,
It
and
was
got in
probably
it
covered with a cloth
easily,
or something.
easily. But like, even if that's covered with a cloth, no one's looking at that and going, "Oh, there's something under there." Like that they're probably like, "Oh, it's probably just a crane or scissor lift that they just covered." Like
Yeah.
same kind of structure. And he comes out on that, and I'm like, "What the?" And my instant thought was he was going to use it to keep like Roman Reigns down, or Roman was going to use it to keep him down, like squash him underneath it so he couldn't get out.
Right. Don't
Like the
smash
whole-
him. Yeah.
Don't smash him with the forklift. But being live in there for that moment when he lifts up the ring and Roman's standing in it, and I was in the perfect view of it too, and he just goes tumbling down, dude, and then it just stays there. So now it's just pure chaos happening all outside the ring,
Yeah.
It just like visually to look at that moment is like one of the best visual WWE moments ever. Like SummerSlam, Brock's underneath, buried alive, Roman standing up on him, and you could see the ring is like lifted up in the air. It was just perfect. Honestly, perfect.
Interesting. But yeah, it was when the match was just full on fucking exciting. Brock was also like, he's so weird. Brock was in like 20 times better shape than his last match. Like, and then Roman was a little fatter, but Roman's been a little thick lately. That being said, he still looks great. Like, he's still like these guys. Yeah. It's interesting because that's the thing. Christina was like, these two guys are going at it again, and I was like, they are the two best guys. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah,
Like these two guys, when they look at, like, remember the poster, the stupendous poster for Mania? Like those two guys looking at each other, like, it looks like shit. It looks fucking awesome. Like they look like they should be battling, and like what other wrestler could you, it's a problem, kind of, You got like Cena's face in there would look good too, But anyway. The match was like, I was popping for it big. The finish of it was great. Like, just burying Brock. Did you see the clip? Were you still there when Brock went in the ring after?
Yeah. Climbed up.
He just climbed up there?
Yeah.
How did they do that? How did they make sure that thing was safe? I think they just don't, right?
Well, they probably know it's all together in some kind of fashion, but like, yeah, I mean, it's
like, that felt so dangerous what they did.
Yeah, because what happens if it breaks and it collapses? Roman's in that ring. I mean, he also went tumbling down really quickly. I thought he was going to crash into the turnbuckle hard, And I was
everything they did to Roman was pretty dangerous, but it was all stuff I would do.
Yeah.
Truthfully, what scares me more, the thing that scares me the most, weirdly, of all the stuff these guys do, is like eating those spears. I feel like they spear each other so fucking hard.
Dude, Dominic Mysterio got fucking cut in half by Edge tonight. Like,
God, Dominic Mysterio. It's enough already with Dominic Mysterio. I know he's your boy, but Dominic Mysterio.
Wait until he turns, man.
I mean, Dominic Mysterio.
All right,
literally is handed. His hand. What?
Oh,
You don't wanna,
stop! Don't ruin. Don't ruin it
Dominic
by saying that.
Mysterio is. Hey, I just want to say this about
That
Dominic
wrestled games in
Mysterio.
the main event on Raw. He looked great, man. He
Dominic
fucking.
Mysterio does not look great. As a matter of fact, Dominic Mysterio, he's been handed a WWE career. Okay, and his response to that contract people would kill for, a contract that even guys like Gargano can't get. Okay, and
Yeah,
his
he's about
response to
to.
that is to get fat. I mean, it's mind blowing. Why does he have a belly now? Are you absolutely kidding me? His dad is
Well,
like 45 and jacked. I
I
mean,
did.
Rey Mysterio looks great. You
I
know?
did see Dominic at the after party. It
Yeah.
was at the same
Did
after
you
party as me.
poke? He was pudge, bro. He was a little pudge.
Oh my god, man.
No arms. I'm just saying. What I'm saying. Look, what I'm saying is this. I'm not even against Dom being in WWE, but boy, oh boy, he ain't Logan Paul, baby.
Yeah, all right, that's a good transition then.
Yeah, let's get into that. So that main event is like for me 6-star match. I like that I put that up there. That match one of my most enjoyable. The match that I like watching that I go the last match I watched that I enjoyed as much as that. That doesn't mean I've watched a ton of matches that I dug. I mean, the
Mhm.
last time I had this much fun watching wrestling was Forbidden Door, you know?
Mhm.
And that's an AEW New Japan event. So we all win as fans. But
Mhm.
if we go back, Daniel Bryan, Kenny Omega, last year's Grand Slam.
Mhm.
That was the match that I enjoyed as much as this one. And if I had to choose which of the two that I liked better, you know, if I just had to, I'd say they're fucking equal. Those are exactly the two styles of like two completely different styles of professional
It's
wrestling.
funny because you were in attendance for one and I was in attendance for the other.
Yeah, that is true. And those are four wrestlers, and they're perfectly matched up. Like Daniel Bryan should be wrestling guys like Kenny Omega, and Roman and Brock should be going at each other. You know what I mean? I mean, mixing them is dope too. But those are like perfect style matchups. You
Uh
know?
huh. Uh-huh.
So both great. We all win. That's all I'm saying. Logan Paul. The Logan Paul. Let's just call a spade a spade. I just want to say I don't know anything about Logan Paul. Like in terms of, I know a little bit about him. Like I remember he got in trouble for like showing a dead body, like suicide in Japan, right? Like that. That's the first time I think I remember hearing about him.
Yeah,
He like posted a dead body on YouTube, right?
he like went into the suicide forest and like filmed it and like
Right.
showed like
Right.
yeah.
You know, my thing is that like whatever. What was he 20? It's
I
like
don't
you
know.
know, like whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I always have a little bit of a soft spot for like, it's like really Bieber like now like he comes out and like everyone gave him so much shit. Like, he's such an asshole, and you're like he's like a 15-year-old kid who's famous, like going around here, and they're like, you remember he like they showed him peeing in like a bucket, like a mop bucket. Remember that? And everyone like gave him shit for that. And then like he came out later and was like, I had like nowhere to pee. You're like, yo, bro, when we were like 15, think of all this stupid shit you did, you know? Now, that being said, I'm not saying he's not good, but Bieber seems to have grown up and been like, people I know him or whatever, say, seems to be like a nice guy. You know what I mean? So I don't really know. My point is this I'm not defending the Pauls. I don't know anything about them, but there's always this collective when people are like, they hold these like kids who got famous on YouTube to these like real high standard, and they also don't account for their age, you know? They take it just because they got famous. That anyway, that's what I'm saying. Let's say it's Logan Paul, one of my guys. Now, I honestly, I saw that match and I was like pretty close to just being like, for Logan Paul. Let's just say this. I would say, Logan Paul rendered Pat McAfee obsolete that night. I felt like
Ugh.
Logan Paul showed up. He was chiseled. I mean, he looked what like a 10 out of 10. He looks like a modern professional wrestler.
So you're saying that's what if Dominic Mysterio looked like that, you would be okay, right?
Dominic Mysterio is a fat schlub. Okay, he
Come on,
stinks.
man.
He stinks.
You can't,
He
you
stinks.
can't say that. That's like the
Dominic Mysterio's the best thing he does is get his ass kicked. It's what you've liked
Well,
about it from the start. The
yeah.
Usos like rammed him into the turnbuckle like
Yeah.
from the outside. That was his best spot of the night, like in the
Oh,
main
dude,
event.
I thought they broke his back.
Yeah, the best thing he does is eat bumps.
That happened to him, and I heard fireworks going off, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. That's why he's one of my guys."
Logan Paul. Now I'll say this: who's the other Paul? Donnie Paul.
Sure.
Jeffrey Paul? Peter Paul?
It's Logan and
Well, let's just call him. Let's just call him Greg Paul. All right.
Greg Paul.
Whatever. There's another Paul. Luke Paul feels right, but I don't know
No,
if that's
it's
true.
not.
Okay.
It's not.
All right. Let's call him Luke Paul. Okay. So when I was at WrestleMania,
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, Rosenberg was doing like the
You were
pre-show
close.
outside.
You had the last two letters.
Luke Paul,
Yeah.
Jake Paul, Jake Paul. I am your father. No, that's Paul. So anyway, their dad's Paul. Here's
Okay.
the thing. Jake Paul was talking to Rosenberg at the kickoff show outside, but they had it where projected where when if you were going to the arena you could hear them
Yeah.
because they were doing you remember that?
Yeah.
And he was healing off so much on the Mysterios, and the crowd was booing the shit out of him, and he was great. He was great, you know? He was getting the crowd. He was just like, yo, Rey Mysterio is old as shit. And everyone was booing the shit out of him. It was great. These guys are, and then Logan Paul cut his promo on Raw. It was filmed, but I thought really good.
Thought so too.
Right? And then he came out and he was like, yo, I think I found my calling, you know?
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, well, all right, cool. Let's see what this guy can do, man.
Hey,
you know?
hey, man. Guess what? I think you did too, because like how many wrestlers in their career say they did a frog splash from the turnbuckle to the through the announcer's table? Not many.
I mean, let's talk about that frog splash for a second. Frog splash is one of those moves that a lot of people do that only a few wrestlers make it look great.
Yeah.
Okay? You know what I mean? Like Rob Van Dam comes to mind. He like made it look incredible.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Shane McMahon.
You know, I'd love to say Eddie, but I was never a huge Eddie frog splash guy, I'll be honest.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
interesting.
I love a lot about Eddie Guerrero. Don't get me wrong. I underrated Eddie Guerrero. He's a guy like coming up because I was young and it was like he's a WCW guy. I never got
Yeah.
into the crossover guys. You know what I mean? But when I see his clips now, I'm like, this guy was. I underappreciated him. I admit that. You know.
Mhm.
But his frog splash was never my favorite frog splash. But there were guys who, but like Rob Van Dam. Holy shit! I can't think of someone else. Someone else I'm blanking on is a great frog splash.
Well, I know. I mean, Montez Ford has one of the best ones.
Montez is fucking great. That
His-
might be thinking of Montez.
His frog splash is insane, and he was doing a frog splash with like a 180 turn in there. Like at sometimes it was that guy's.
But
that guy.
Logan Paul's frog splash, he looked great. He flew onto that table. He flew.
He's insanely athletic. Like
He's
he
crazy
has,
athletic.
You know what he has? He has like hops. You know,
Yeah.
he's got like a spring in his step, which is so massive for WWE because that ring caters to people who have that spring, like really good. And he was, he didn't really.
He
miss
was
a beat.
flipping up a storm.
Flipping up a storm, doing all the moves, looked great. I mean, kudos to the
Logan
Miz.
Paul is perfect for WWE.
Perfect.
No?
It's
Yeah.
perfect. He's got the money. He's got everything you need to be and put in place to be successful, and he's 100% gonna be. Comes out, says he's gonna sign the multi-year deal, multi-event a year deal too, and it's like, yeah, I mean, let's just see more of this guy. Sure, I mean,
Yeah.
let's see where
But
it goes.
what is the Pauls like? You might not even know the answer, but what is their history with wrestling? Like, do they like it the same way Miz does, or they kind of just saw an opportunity with it?
I think just saw an opportunity, and I think what happened with Logan Paul was that he just started training and realizing that he can actually be good at it. And then
Is he still boxing?
yeah, he trains to be a boxer too. So he's in insane shape. You know, like normally he's in boxer shape. Like
Right.
but like I think he just stepped in a ring and then kind of like
Yeah.
fell in love with it and realized, oh, I'm actually athletic enough to do like cool shit. And then he gets like in Triple H praised him, like, you know, hard work ethic, always training, wanting to learn, and like you know,
Well-
if you got that and you're doing it, then give me Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny at WrestleMania. Let's go.
Yeah, he's like, he was just like, I mean, at the end of the day, it is fake fighting. So, you know, I mean, there's a limit. You know what I mean? He's like, there is a limit to it. I love it. It's one thing about wrestling. It's like people come in and are like great at it sometimes, and you're like, well, you know, some of these guys may be taking it a little too seriously. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that all being said, he seems to be just an athletic guy who's going to take to it right away. Um, excited to see where Logan Paul goes. To be honest, like he's a great celebrity addition to professional wrestling. He made Bad Bunny look like a Make a Wish kid. Like I mean, he came out there and looked like a professional wrestler. You know,
Yeah, I know it's
fucking
not that
dope.
has and nothing about him looking like a professional wrestler. He is a professional wrestler. Like that's it. I mean, there's
He
no
came.
denying it.
I can deny whatever I want. Ask me
All
anything.
right. Well, is Logan Paul a professional wrestler?
I can't confirm or deny. That match was great. Nice to see Miz in new gear, and
Oh,
also his new gear was cool. That was
oh,
really. My
that
balls are
color.
massive is kind
Yeah,
of funny to me. I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is it dumb? I don't know. I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I might buy that shirt. It says "Hello, my balls are massive."
he
I
had
mean,
it on
it's
the
so
front of his
dumb.
gear too. Like, it's funny. That colorway was sick. Maurice is insane. She's the
Is
best manager.
Maurice is Maurice looking extra hot nowadays,
Yeah,
or is
a
that
hundred.
just me?
No, just like bombshell. Like she was the perfect. She's the perfect manager. The two of them together are perfect. I love the vibes with Champa being around too. I love the AJ stuff that happened, and then that you kind of the foreshadow was there that they would win, and I didn't know we were getting that match tonight. Now we get that match tonight, and that was sick. Champa wins. Like man, what where
Well, I knew Ciampa was going to win because they were really playing up AJ being injured. You know,
Oh, I mean, I have no.
like Ciampa came into AJ came into. They were like, "Oh, AJ's really fucked up from his match because they wrestled twice that night." You know, but
Yeah, but
also it's for a U.S. title shot, and now Triple H is in charge, so I knew Ciampa was like going to
oh,
be
and
pushed.
speaking
Right?
of that, now let's just fucking remember. I think last week or a couple weeks ago, I
Yes.
said with Roman not being around, the U.S. titles getting a lot like more love. IC titles getting a lot more love, right? And tonight they cut a promo, just promoing the U.S. title and all the history of the title and past champions.
Yeah, yeah. They showed
And
Goldberg
it
with
was
the
just like
WCW one.
so ridiculous, like USA, like over the top stuff with the Eagles flying. And I'm like, oh my God, like, God damn it, Triple H. I just fucking love you so much. It was so perfect. Bobby gets a moment on there. I mean, yo, it's
I'm curious how much this was ready to go already, or how much Triple H got done. Like the things we know, anything that's NXT Black and Gold related, you gotta assume is
I told
Triple H's touch.
I told you. I said I felt it a couple weeks ago. Like even before the allegations with Vince came out, Triple H started to say it said he was back, and like you can feel like little things happening in his presence around. So I think they were like already like getting Vince slowly out of there, and he was like seamlessly taking over because that's what this completely feels like. He took what was in place that was already was going on, and then like gave it his little touch, and then now like Raw was. I mean, they're even you can hear like the wrestlers like Edge tonight said something along the lines of like, "I thought I had to come here and like shine a spotlight on underutilized talent, but that's different now." Like and like you hear these things. Michael Cole said something during SummerSlam and like about like, "Oh, now I could say what like I want to," or something like that. Like, it's a different vibe. It's fucking cool as shit, man. Like
Right.
it's really awesome to watch. Like tonight, I think was easily one of the best Raws of the year, obviously, and probably one of the best Raws in a really long time. And that it was a perfect follow up to SummerSlam. We have not gotten a good pay per view followed up by a good Raw in fucking forever. And now it seems like that's just extra motivation. Like I'm already excited for next week's Raw to see what's gonna happen. Like the women's, I mean, having Bailey come back with Dakota Kai and Io Shirai or Io Sky now. Um,
It's Io Sky. Is
Io
Sky?
Sky.
Yeah.
So when that moment happened at SummerSlam, I was just so like Dakota Kai coming back and Io Sky coming out. I was just like, yo, man, this man is first match of the night. Like instantly putting his stamp on the night. You know what I'm saying? Like
That
just
is 100%
cementing
what that's what
cementing
he did.
it's his era, and I'm letting y'all know the women's division is going to be a division that will be one of the best in all of wrestling. Like that's what he's after, and that's what he's going to show. Like he's going to have the talent there. Sasha and Naomi have been offered like new contracts and are like being brought back or something along those lines. So when they come back, I mean, look out. I mean, the roster is just getting stacked now. You got Shayna Baszler waiting in the wings. A lot of good wrestlers just waiting to shine. Like,
I was kind of thinking about Shayna Baszler because I was like, kind of crazy with Shayna Baszler that like I was thinking about remember when she was wrestling Bianca and Sam Roberts like went off on her in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this match is stupid. Remember?
Like you said something about Bianca.
Oh my god, it kind of like went viral. It was like purposely done. It was pretty smart.
About Bianca, right?
In the kickoff show, he was like, I gotta be honest, this match is almost stupid. Like Bianca has no business being in a ring with Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like
Yeah.
that, and it was really smart actually. They haven't done stuff like that since. I did that because I don't think that was planned.
It was kind of huge too.
I don't think it was unplanned. I think it was.
That was like when people started really getting behind Bianca too. So like worked out.
Yeah, Bianca is fucking great. Her gear was sick. I didn't like.
I mean, wow, what a fucking superstar Bianca Belair is, man. I mean, they have probably the best women's wrestler in the world right now, and I think she's almost running away with it at this point.
Can we talk about how ham-fisted the Becky becoming the man again thing was on Raw?
In what kind of way?
That was my only knock on Raw. Was like Becky was just like, you know,
she
just kept being, I don't know. She said basically like, I'm not, I define the man, right? Like, a man doesn't define me. I define the man. And then they had Bianca come out and go like,
you are the man.
Yeah, you are the man. And it was like, all right, we get it. Becky's gonna be the man again. She doesn't really. They don't need to say that like 4 times.
Yeah, but
just have her.
It was short. It was sweet.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a great way to open up Raw.
I think Bianca should have just said it, and not Becky. And then I think also clearly Becky's gonna be out for a while. She seemed to hurt herself. You know.
Yeah, she separated her shoulder, dude. I saw a picture.
She finished the match with her shoulder.
Yo, that's
out.
Which is crazy.
And she's gonna be out for a little bit. So when she comes back, she'll full on just be wearing the man shirt. I'm excited for Becky to go back to being a baby. I thought that was a great. That was the cool thing about SummerSlam in general. Is they did a lot of good setup going forward.
Oh yeah. You
know, I mean, all right. So anyway, Logan Paul was great. Bianca, you're saying Bianca's really great. Bianca Bailey feud is pretty interesting. I just think that it's interesting because do you think Bailey can beat Bianca?
Yeah.
100%, right? It almost feels like, God, it would feel like kind of a shame if Bianca beat Bailey.
Let me tell you something.
Gone for so long. Having Bailey be strong, I think, is kind of important, you know?
If Naomi and Sasha come back with those tag titles too, and you start getting like a sick little women's tag division going as well, like, you know, like, I mean, I think they're just women's wrestling in WWE is about to go to another level. Like Triple H is going to utilize every single woman in that division properly. Like I don't honestly, I think one of the things we'll never see again is the 24/7 title. Don't expect to ever see that thing come out ever again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's be real here. We are entering a very interesting time in wrestling right now. I think Saturday and tonight, and it was mentioned, like I love being on Twitter during times like this, but it was mentioned that this was supposed to be like a statement show, and honestly, they made a statement tonight. They made a fucking statement tonight. They made a statement. Every single thing that happened tonight was so well done. The wrestlers, you can tell, are involved in what's going on. The backstage segments, the promos, like even Edge's promo comes back, cuts a quick little promo, makes it make sense. You know, like I mean, the possibilities are endless now. I'm even thinking like, God, imagine if he breaks up Judgment Day and then we finally get Finn and AJ together, like, doing their thing. Like, like there's,
Yeah.
think about all the talent that's there. Mustafa Ali, we see Dolph in a match with Chad Gable and Ciampa. Like,
Ciampa.
I mean, what did we do to deserve this? Obviously a long time of really bad booking, but like and here's another thing I noticed production wise, a lot less camera cuts. It felt like a really good watch tonight too, just visually. Like it didn't feel like things were like moving all over the place,
Yeah. It was definitely a great show. I felt very happy watching it. I was having a good time. I felt like the promos were definitely slicker tonight. That was probably my biggest takeaway from stuff. It was like
Yeah.
I felt like you're right. Like some of them were like they were shorter and they were pretty like good. Like Seth Rollins was like mad funny tonight.
Wow.
He was pretty insulting. Yeah, he was funny. He was making Christina laugh. He was pretty good. I just my only I don't have that much of an issue, to be honest. I definitely was just enjoying the show. You didn't think that they were breaking up? You didn't think they were setting the stages there because Montez kind of like ditched the
Nah.
he,
It's
he
not even
ditched
close.
the fucking he ditched
I honestly thought it was more of a way to show that they're not going to break up. The Street Profits are not going to break up. First of all, they are one of the best tag teams in the world right now. Like, you could put them up there with all the best ones right now. There's just two incredible wrestlers, and individually, Montez is getting fucking jacked out of his mind right now. He looks
What's
so
going
incredible.
on with him? I mean,
Dawkins
Jesus,
is
he
cutting
looks
weight and
huge.
looking good too. He's way more quicker on his feet. And I think tonight was just more of a cement that they can prosper as individuals, but also still be together. Like Montez gets the match, Dawkins comes out and saves
We got
him.
to talk about Montez looking jacked. Yes.
I mean, first of all, his outfit for SummerSlam coming out with the cowboy hat. The guy is so fucking talented, man.
I hate when they adapt the sports team. You know that, but fine.
No, but for the Street Profits, it's really awesome, dude. And they're doing it for every city that they go into. Like literally tonight, when they were in the Knicks gear, you didn't like the Knicks gear? Come on, dude. That's dope. Like
The Knicks gear, I really took a liking to because I'm New York, so I guess
Right,
that's kind of
so-
like exposing my bullshit. But
Yeah.
the like, old school like orange blue Knicks jerseys and Madison Square Garden are so special, that I think everyone kind of understands that. But I guess I guess it's a good. There's a little bit of my bullshit involved there, right?
yeah, of course.
I'm open to it. Agree.
Yeah.
Montez, though, we got to talk about Montez because Montez, he should break up with Street Profits. I know you
No.
disagree. They not necessarily need to break up, but like having him wrestle a singles match against Seth Rollins was a really great push forward because Montez is too talented to be in a tag team. I'm sorry. That guy is a fucking star.
Yeah,
He
but
is great on promo. Great.
you're saying that in an era where tag team wrestling hasn't mattered. So honestly, if tag team wrestling starts to go into, I mean, we just had a main event Raw tonight. Like if he starts building, like think about the tag teams that are there. You still got the Viking Raiders. Like I think you can bring back a tag team like the Authors of Pain and like make tag team wrestling
Of course,
relevant.
those guys they wrote Pain. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean,
they
New York Times bestsellers.
Yeah,
Those guys are just as big as Logan Paul for sure.
Absolutely. Tullo, I agree.
Okay.
I agree with you. Tag team wrestling is dope right now, and I agree. Like if they don't have any immediate plans to do anything with him, and it's like there is the like U.S. like if he's not, if he's gonna go.
But like you think
You
about
could have an IC run, could be pretty good,
see, and this is where my brain's going. Like, there's no harm in Montez going for the IC with Dawkins in his corner, and they're doing those hypes back there, and then like Dawkins going for a U.S. title. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it would be fucking sick, and they're holding individual titles, but they're together. Like, we could see that too. I mean, we've the New Day successfully has been tag teams, and Kofi's been champion. Like, be stronger in numbers. Like fucking bring another person into the stable. I don't know. Call up Carmelo Hayes from down low and put Carmelo Hayes with the Street Profits. Fuck it. Like, I mean,
Oh,
there's possibilities, but
Tullo.
yeah.
Sorry, I saw something so funny.
Okay.
You might have seen this, but
Is it a
someone posted
detour?
this. No. It says, ladies and gentlemen, we have the new WWE chairman and CEO. Vince McMahon's younger brother, Victor McMahon. And it's Vince with a beard like Ezekiel.
Oh man. All right. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So who won SummerSlam for you? Like, and it doesn't have to be. It could be any. It doesn't have to be a wrestler either. What won SummerSlam for you? So I have a little list here. You want me to give you a little list of things that I thought won SummerSlam? I wrote.
Yeah, I mean, but the one SummerSlam I think is just Brock. I don't have kind of I could think of a funny answer, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, Brock came out there and pulled off like kind of the impossible of like losing again to Roman, but coming out as the victor, literally standing in the middle of the ring at the end. You almost forgot he lost,
Not to mention standing in the tractor in the beginning. Did you see how he flipped the microphone to Roman and it like landed right in his hand?
Yeah, that was
insane.
Crazy. That was crazy. Just the fact that like there's some moments in wrestling that give me such a fucking hard on,
Yeah.
Like when he fucking not a literal one because the feeling is more like in my chest, like it's just great, If we're going into what the feeling is, it's a real like enchanted excitement I get. But like when you see Brock standing in the what's it called, the loader,
The plow.
Yeah, what's the whatever front car
Plow.
loader or whatever? Yeah, whatever, the plow part. He's standing on the plow, and you're like, oh, that's how they're gonna do the fucking face off, Like he's gonna be standing on the fucking.
Man,
tractor.
I had so much anxiety during some of those German suplexes at the end that like he was gonna get tossed into the fucking plow, dude.
I know the tractor was like so. I was like, they're gonna wrestle, and then Roman kept just being like, "Get down, bro, get down." Like, what are you doing? It was so fucking great. And then
What's he
you
doing up there?
You knew he was gonna jump off it onto him, and it just still
Gonna
was
smash
cool.
the ring.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar is 45 years old. I mean, Jesus.
All right, so here's a little list of who won SummerSlam. I wrote Triple H, the Tractor, the Women's Division, the Fans, Nashville, and Logan Paul.
I love that list.
I think that's a great list.
I love that list.
Because the crowd was electric.
The fans. You sound like a PR guy. The fans.
The fans, they were electric. Great fan. Like great fans all night. They were into every single thing. You did mention, and one thing I don't like, so we can move. I have some funny things to talk about, but
I'll be the judge of that.
So what'd you think about Liv and Ronda?
I liked the Liv and Ronda finish.
And do you know what it paid like homage to? Was that happened in Brock and Undertaker? It was like the same finish from the Brock and Undertaker match.
It wasn't exactly that same finish, but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Hell in a Cell, right? Where so Taker tapped out, but I think the ref didn't see it, right?
Yes.
But I don't think there was a pin in that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure there was a pin. Hold on. I have the article. I've read it. Let me bring it up.
I remember watching that match. Like, I remember that because everyone hated that finish. Do you remember? They hated it. But I don't remember.
No, it was a homage to the SummerSlam 2015 main event in which The Undertaker tapped when he knew the ref couldn't see his hand, causing Brock Lesnar to release to Kimura, only for the dead man to keep fighting and steal the official victory. So,
yeah. So he didn't. It wasn't the same. It might have been homage, but same kind of thing where there's a tap out that didn't
I think it's great.
happen. But anyway, it wasn't It reminded me of that, so I remembered it instantly. But it wasn't the exact same finish. It was way better. This finish
here's
was way
the thing
slicker.
is, and Hallelujah, you get Ronda looking like what she's supposed to look like, right? It's like beats the ref up, gets fined, she's suspended. That's Ronda Rousey. I mean, if Triple H gives her a mouthpiece, it's just game over. Like they'll run with Ronda and a mouthpiece and like being an absolute fucking badass, beating the
Well,
shit out of.
she seems to not be going anywhere, right? I mean, except for the fact she got like fined, so she might
Yeah.
be suspended for a little
Yeah,
bit, right?
cool her off a little bit.
Yeah. But all that being said, she seems to be she's headed towards the true heel zone, which is pretty
Yeah.
fun. And it was a great win for Liv. You know, it was
Mhm.
like she won on her actual merits. You know, but she showed that she's a lot weaker than Ronda. You know,
Mhm.
I liked it. I thought it was really fun. That match was really interesting because like that was another one. Christina was like watching it, and we started it, and she was like really shitting on both of their entrances, and I was like, that's fair. They were boring entrances, you know.
Mhm.
And then like the match happened, and she kept being like getting worked by it. She kept being worked. She was just like, oh wow, look, Ronda's gonna win, you know. And she was getting, and I was like pointing out to her, I'm like, oh well, they're telling the story of like that she's working her arm.
Mhm.
She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, they're doing a thing, which is that like Liv has no arm left because she's been surviving these arm bars, you know.
Mhm.
And that was well, you know. And then they ended it. They ended it that where So it was pretty good. It's just the interesting thing. The thing I'll say, the only thought I had, I don't think it's bad per se, but I'll say the main event was so big time, and
Mhm.
that match felt so small time in comparison.
Yeah.
That would be my only thought. But I think that's because the true women's main was the first match,
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
right?
Oh.
So it's kind of like just like
Yeah, and it
yeah.
wasn't like that match was ever gonna be like a 15-minute match to Liv and
Mhm.
Ronda. I think it was like 8 minutes or something, you know. But like it was
Right.
a great way to do it because in reality, Liv shouldn't beat Ronda. Like she got lucky,
No.
but like finding a way for her to win that fashion is great, you know. And now you can
Yeah.
build to something else.
It was great. It was really a really fun match. I liked it, you know, and I think
So
it's cool. I'm interested to see where they go with Liv.
so I sat on the floor. I had very good seats, and
Many people are saying that about that. Did you
I
see
got
that?
a souvenir chair, but
Uh,
I was like, all right, sick. I'm gonna have the souvenir chair. I guess what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to check it at the airport, right? Because I wasn't gonna wait around to ship it back through there. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just check it at the airport. Is that what you did when you had it? Just
Oh my god, yeah, I've done this a couple times, and then
okay,
they lose them. It's a whole thing.
right. So I'm walking out. I got this chair in my hand, and I'm walking through the arena. I finally get to the top of the steps. It was mad dash to get out of the stadium. And as I'm walking out, guy goes to me, I'll give you $50 for your chair. And I go, 50? And I go, nah, not enough. And I walk by and he goes, how about 70? And I go, all right, that's actually a really good fucking offer. Fuck. Because then now I'm starting to think in my brain, well, if I'm going to fucking check this thing, it's going to cost me like 40, $50 anyway. Right.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, I start walking. I go, fuck it. I'm going to sell it to this guy. I go back. I go, how much did you say? He said 50. And I said, how much did you say? And he goes, 70. And I go, all right, give me the 70. It's all yours. And he goes, whoa, thanks, man. Gave me $70. Got out of there.
Yeah, I mean, because you're smart because it would cost you to check it. It's not worth it, really.
And it was I mean, it was a cool chair. It was like Brock Lesnar. I think it was that like that artist that does all those like really cool things, Schmambanger or something like that.
Rob Schmackelmanny.
Rob Schmartenberger.
Rob Schmackenberg.
Slippy, Slappy.
Yeah, Slappy Schmacky.
Swami,
Yeah.
Samsonite.
Yeah, Slappy Swanson. Yeah,
Mary Swanson.
Mary Swanson.
But yeah, but I was like, I already have 2 chairs at home. What am I gonna do with this third one? I was like, this is fucking great. Sold it for $70 cash. Got out of there. I used 20 of it to tip the musical performers at the bar that we were at.
I love that for you. I think that's a great move you pulled there.
So I was also a part of something really crazy. Some of the people that I walked into the building with, had tickets, but like way up top for like cheap. So what they did was the guy edited someone else's ticket to like be his, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
And
I've heard about this.
He went right up to the bracelet, like got in with the ticket, and then went right up to the bracelet line, and then got a bracelet for the floor, and then just waited around until he found seats, and then just sat down on the floor. Like
So
scheme.
I've heard of people doing this. They take tickets and then you buy a real ticket, but you Photoshop it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard of people doing stuff where this is what I heard. Here's the scam I heard. All right, someone I've never done this, so I can't vouch this works. But someone told me you buy a ticket, like a cheap ticket, right?
Mm.
Then when the show or like starts, you go on StubHub and then you look up what tickets are still on sale that people are clearly not gonna buy that are gonna be an empty seat. And then you Photoshop or you edit it to be like one of those seats that's gonna be clearly empty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the plan
This
is to
way,
make sure you
someone's
have-
not in the seat. Because it's like you look at a ticket, you go like when it's already like a half hour into the show and you see what's still available. Probably no one's buying a $2,000 seat, right?
Yeah.
And then,
Smart.
yeah. So whoever scalped that ticket already got fucked, you know?
Dude, what a fucking scheme, man.
Yeah, I've never done it. Someone told it to me. Like
I saw
don't
it
know.
happen live in front of me. I was
So
like,
that's essentially what this guy did, but he didn't. What he does is he just gets into the floor and then looks for an empty thing to sit in, right?
yeah, okay. So he's not doing the whole editing process. He
The
just
anything I think it will be like that's how people get to sit in like truly sick seats. You
because
know?
you just need a ticket to get in. So then once
Right.
you're in, when they check, because they make you get a bracelet in order to get access down onto the floor. So you have to
Right.
go and show your ticket, but they only just look at your ticket. So they're just looking to make sure it's a floor section ticket. So once you get the bracelet, you can go down there. But if you combine the two schemes
Whew.
where you look ahead and then you find the seats, now you're golden.
Tullo, let me ask you something else.
Ask me, man.
You smoke weed every day?
Yeah, I do.
Most days, every day. Is it
Every
do
day.
you smoke to function like for a morning? Are you like I'll smoke
No,
in the
so
morning?
I used to smoke in the morning all the time, but now I work from home, so I don't smoke in the morning or during the day anymore.
Right.
Because otherwise I'm not motivated enough and I won't want to work, and I have work to do.
Yeah.
So it's like if I do that, I will if I wake up in the morning and I have really bad anxiety, like I'm having really bad morning anxiety, and I'm like my brain is going like all over the place and I don't feel well. I'll smoke like when I first wake up just to kind of calm my stomach and my nerves down. So by the time that like I'm ready to work, it's gone, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not high and I can actually function.
No, I'm saying it's a lesson I learn over. I have to relearn all the time. I go like, yo, I'm gonna like, you know what? I'm gonna smoke weed. Like maybe I'll be able to like do that, and then it'll make my day like make me like a little like
Yeah, no.
more productive and less anxious. And then I smoke weed, and like all I want to do is like just like watch a movie.
Yeah.
That's so I'm always curious about the people who are like because you're like you like work hard and you're functional. I'm curious about the like Seth Rogen types who are like functional weed smokers.
Oh yeah, I mean, but it also helps with their creative ability. So smoking weed is so good for them to do before they do the things that they do. You know,
I know. I think it just makes me so fucking tired. Like everything.
you're
makes me
smoking the wrong
tired.
strains, man.
I know. I mean, if I'll smoke a sativa, I can rock out. But it helps to be like drinking doesn't make me tired. I like drinking, then I'm up. Like I'm looking to party. Unless I drink beer and then I drink like a lot of beers, it's too heavy. And then so my stomach's too full.
Yeah. Yo,
But I want to tell you guys something.
Go.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I was just thinking of something just randomly though, and Roman. It was during the Roman Brock match, and I was sitting next to a woman who like does lighting and stuff for WWE, but she wasn't. I don't know if she was working with them anymore, but still got a ticket through somebody that was there. She was awesome. We got along the whole time. We were chatting about wrestling. She was just a great individual person to just randomly have sit next to you. And it's during the Brock Roman match, and Roman goes for the Superman punch, and he does the thing and then smashes the ground. And she just turns to me and goes, "Well, that's the same move I use at the lesbian bar every night."
Oh my god! Wait, I gotta tell that to Christina because Christina loved when Roman did that. Like she never noticed he did that before.
She's like, "That's the same move I use at the lesbian bar." I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "That's so fucking fun." Imagine just someone going like, boom. I was like,
That's-
oh man, it's so funny. She had me dying. She was so much fun to hang out with.
Oh my god.
That's the best part about wrestling shows. Like sometimes you'll go, you can. Have you ever gone to a wrestling show by yourself? I've done it actually
Definitely. I've
pretty
been to wrestling
frequently.
shows by myself, but not as much as what I've done more of is I've been times where like we have seats not together, so I'll have like a solo seat I got for free. You know what I mean? But
I get that.
I gotta tell you, I have two things to say.
Okay.
One was about weed, about drinking, and what was I gonna say about drinking?
You don't like doing it anymore?
No, we were talking about. Fuck, man, damn it! I was because it was going off the weed combo. Shit. Drinking beers. Drinking
Drink
beer.
somewhere?
This was about.
Where did you drink?
Alright.
Was it
Damn
about
it.
where somewhere where you were having drinks?
It was an alcohol related thing. Did it
Think
have
it'll
to
come
do with
back?
wrestling? I'm not totally sure, but I think it's something to do. Oh, here's what it was. I remember.
Wow, that's
So I
incredible.
want to do a thing at the last improv show, one of my live shows, where I do a Terramana toast with the crowd. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to try to get The Rock to see it. Like I want to film it and put it on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to do it, but I'm trying to think of a way to do it that like will be like kind of over the top. You know what I mean?
Mm. Can you get Kevin Hart to come?
That would help. It's also not impossible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think Kevin Hart. I probably have someone who could connect me with Kevin Hart, but he'll be too busy to actually make it ever. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like,
all he's got to do is show up for that one spot and then leave.
yeah, I know that's true. Like I got to do some kind of video. I don't know.
I mean, that's the ultimate. If you go, you're gonna do Terramon toast, and then he just comes out like and does his whole thing, you know?
Because I'm trying to get my goal is to get I want The Rock to do monologues on our show. You know, like I want to do improv scenes off The Rock. Like he's my thing is like if The Rock comes and does monologues, the show is over. It's the last show, the last improv show. I'm figuring this out as we're talking. The last improv show will be The Rock as the monologist.
Mm.
So if we can get The Rock, do you think there's a world where The Rock does it?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well, it's just speaking into existence. But do you really want the last improv
I don't
show?
really see. I don't see like boundaries like that. I'm very Vincey-ian that way.
You'll have
Like,
to
I
name
believe-
it the last improc show.
The last Rock show. I believe that The Rock could do it. I think that the question is, can I get his attention? You know, we'll have to find out.
I mean, Nicole Byers sits at a booth with John Cena.
Oh shit! I have a way better chance of getting Cena.
Yeah.
Actually,
mean-
I should let me text By right now. Be like, do you think Cena would do the monologues? Let's see what she says.
Honestly, I think you would.
Nicole, do you think Cena would ever do the monologues?
You got to do it as a surprise guest monologuist too. Like keep that shit on the wraps, you know? Even though we're just live talking about it on the pod.
I'm texting Nicole right now. See what
I'm like,
she'll
yo,
say.
keep it on the wraps. Don't tell anybody except for the fucking people that are all listening to this. All right, now you guys are all swearing on their oath too. No one say a single fucking thing, all right?
All right, let's see what she says.
If you guys tell anybody, literally, you're dead to us.
don't
okay.
tell anybody. All right, hold on. I'm seeing what she said.
The surprise guest monologuist. Monologuer? In the fields killing Yingling monologuers?
Well, we could always just say that the monologist is we have him invisible, and we'll be like, here he is. You know what I mean? We could, but there is always a joke to be had there because we can't see him. That's the thing about. That's the thing about. That's the thing about. Seeing anyway,
That would actually be
the
a
other thing I
really
was gonna
funny
say-
bit, like an invisible man, like monologue.
Well, if Cena was there and he did the monologues from behind a curtain with a god mic, you know what I mean? We gave him a wireless mic, and like, you can't see him, guys. And then they're like, oh, they're doing a gag, but then he really comes out.
And then he goes, Nicole, come up here. And she gets up there and she like pretends to put her arm around, like, oh, like he's squeezing her ass or something, like slaps her butt on the way out, like, or she's like, oh, oh, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, we just booked it. It's right there.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll see.
I mean, it doesn't. Listen. I'm only saying that kind of stuff in the character of Peacemaker.
It's like I ask people, and the worst they could tell you is no, even though it kind of sucks to hear no, But sometimes you're like, all right, like whatever, but like people want to do things. They want. It doesn't matter how famous you are. Like people want to be asked to do things.
Yeah.
Anyway, So anyway, we were talking about professional wrestling, weren't we?
Something like
that. I think that I have two thoughts. One thought is, I hope Matt Riddle goes back to being Matt Riddle. That's just random, just small thing. I really hate Riddle. And then,
so speaking of him, real quick, and keep your second thought. You have it in your head. You have the second thought. Don't lose the second thought.
Oh yeah.
It's real quick.
Being painted, right?
Well, his toenails were painted red, and I know that because I saw him in the airport because I was walking, and someone goes, "Yo, Riddle," and he was like literally like right behind me, and he walked by me, and he was in his slides, and his toenails are painted red, and he's in the same slides I have him, and they were the dirtiest things I've ever seen in my life. He should be embarrassed traveling around in those slides and his bare feet. It's disgusting.
Nicole texted me back, by the way, and said he was wearing barefoot in the airport.
Yeah, like in like his dirty slides.
Absolutely disgusting. Nicole said, "LOL, probably not."
Yeah, I'd be like, but he doesn't even have to come out on stage. He won't like, you can't see him. So he doesn't have to actually interact with anybody. We just keep him backstage. Very safe environment for Cena.
My other thought was,
man, that's a really funny bit.
Triple H, and I'm curious if Vince is still involved. That's my thought. My thought was,
it's really like Succession, man.
Yeah, like you're like, I just have such a hard time believing that Triple H isn't just on the phone with Vince every minute. I
mean, I'm sure he is.
Because Vince is still the majority shareholder. He just has to pretend he retired, right?
Ah, man, it's just.
You think Vince is literally just? I mean, wait. By the way, he might be laying low right now, but if you had to ask me, my thing would be like him and Vince, like Vince and him were like, all right, let's make sure we do some things that makes it look like you're in charge. So let's do the fucking Bailey faction thing.
No, that's not. You were
telling me about.
That's definitely not. No way. Is he around? I don't even know if he's around. It doesn't feel like he's there at all. And they're talking about it like he's.
I don't think. I don't.
They're talking about it like he's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
like
of course. That's. You ever heard of kayfabe?
I'm just saying.
All right. Anyway,
I'm just saying.
Truly a great show. I mean, so the big questions here for me are: where do they go with Roman? Seth called out Roman. I don't know if that was real or that was just. Like a place, the cue line for the Montez to come out,
I don't know, man. I hope so. I think it's a perfect.
But
thing.
it looks like they're. If I had to think about it, my thought is they're probably headed towards Roman Rock with the title at Mania, right? Who's taking this title off of Roman? Like,
I mean, Seth would be the perfect person to do it.
Yeah, it's like. It's just like
you have Cody, man.
Cody's the only guy. Is the only guy who I could see actually doing it because if I'm Triple H, my brain goes, we save Roman losing to Cody at Mania or Rock, and right now the Rock's always going to be kind of tentative. So the plan's either Cody goes over at Mania or Rock is around. And then, if Rock is around, you decide if you need the titles even on Roman, But if Rock isn't there, then you need the titles on Roman, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you can't really take them off Roman until they can see what the Mania landscape looks like because Roman will be in the main event of Mania next year. There's no
I
question.
mean, I think the build to a Seth beating like Roman at Royal Rumble and then like Cody returning at the Rumble and winning the Rumble is like epic storytelling in all forms. You
Yeah.
know, because then Cody doesn't have to wrestle until Mania. Neither does Seth. It's just nothing but like insane vignettes and build-ups and attacks, and like you just really drag it on until Mania. So then everybody's just like right chomping at the bit for it. And then in that case, then
Tommaso Ciampa-ing.
Tommaso Ciampa-ing at
That
the
they're
bit.
all Tommaso Ciampa-ing at the bit. This is
But
important.
yeah, I'm honestly, the thing I'm most excited about next is Survivor Series and what that's going to look like now. I think that's a huge thing. I think that would be a really cool way to see how Triple H is going to handle Survivor Series.
I love that for us. Everybody loves it for us. Well, I mean, look, successful night in the books. Great SummerSlam. I loved it. I had a great time watching it. The main event was one of my favorite matches I watched. We talked about it. Excited to see where they go. You know, the main thing to be said is like WWE, the change in creative leadership at the top, even if it just feels really good. It makes people be like, all right, maybe this company that has been failing us for so long has a chance of turning it around, and so it's exciting. You know, it's definitely exciting. And you're right, Triple H really good for female talent. He makes them, you know, he books them way stronger. You know, and seemingly Triple H has better taste and than Vince. I don't know if that, you know, Vince has some good taste as well sometimes. The main thing that Triple H is very good at is like theatrics and production stuff. Like he does, you know, you could just look at his entrances, you know. He a lot of the stuff that he brought to the table in NXT that was really cool. It kind of gets lost on main roster with Vince.
Well,
Like
look
Finn Balor, for
Io
example.
Shirai's Io Sky's entrance. Like how fuck it looks sick tonight, you know? Like, and that was what was the cool, like she had the sickest entrance in NXT, and now we get to finally see it on the main stage, and you're like, fuck yeah, like this is it. This is a perfect example. It's like, oh, these wrestlers that are gonna be coming up are gonna look even cooler now, you know? Bobby
Lashley, his entrance to SummerSlam, I thought was one of the cooler things on the card. Like when he was on that platform, that shot was very cool. I don't know if you saw that because you had to rewatch it, but Bobby Lashley was on that like the kind of, they're doing like the kind of King Kong thing with him, right? They're like,
I rewatched it, so yeah.
Yeah, and like they present him kind of like, you know, like like he's this fucking beast, you know.
Yeah.
And but that shot was cool with the fireworks in the back. I dig it. In general, they do really good work for Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley tweeted out something along the lines of like, it really feels like we have an opportunity to like do things that we want here. And he's like, and then he hinted at Hurt Business 2.0. It's like giving the fans back something that they would really love. Like, and
her business deserves a second chance, no question. Her business was really good. I also would love to see Raw Underground again. I think Raw Underground was cool. Raw Underground could have a title like that, like kind of an FTW kind of a thing, you know.
And frankly,
like,
a lot of things I really enjoy.
Cool. If someone was the like Raw Underground champion, that'd be cool. You know, they have like not like that they come to the middle of the ring cut promos. No. It's a promo. It's a title that they like just carry that they kind of don't talk about. They're like Raw Underground. We know we're not supposed to talk about it here, but he's the Raw Underground champion. He won't confirm or deny it. You know,
dude, it's just absolutely so wild to hear you saying Raw Underground, that actually being a thing that existed at some point in our lives.
I like Raw Underground.
It was so good, dude. It was like
well,
really
good.
Same
thing as, it's like Bloodsport, right? Like Josh Barnett's Bloodsport kind of thing, right?
So it's funny that we talk about Raw Underground, but it's like in my back of my brain, the thing I'm thinking about more is Shane and how like there is this like underlying story that Shane could come back and be like, you know, this isn't your company, Triple H. This is our family's. Would you watch
'cause
Triple H? I'll watch a Triple H
those
for
two
Shane match.
really, from what they all say, they don't like each other at all.
I'll
you
watch
know?
a Triple H Shane match, no problem. Like in Mania, like
Triple H is. I don't know if
for
Triple H is
control of
gonna-
the company. You know, like
Okay, here's something we didn't talk about at all, by the way, before we get out of here. Ric Flair's last match.
he looked like he was gonna die. So
I didn't see it. I thought it was cool. It was like Bret Hart and Undertaker, and
yeah,
the front row was all. Who was it? Bret Hart, Undertaker. Who am I forgetting?
Mankind,
Foley.
Mick Foley,
That was fucking cool.
Dude Love was in there.
Yeah, I thought that was dope. That look, Rick looked like he had a great time. It seems to be that he came out alive, so that's great.
Yeah, always a win.
So I'm happy for that. You know, I didn't watch it because it's kind of like, but I would watch it.
I heard people that were there. I mean, the whole night in general, people said was really good, but that match was a little tough to watch. They said, especially live in person.
Right, he's probably moving so slow.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's something he wanted to do. I can't knock it. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
he seemed to come out okay. So that's all that really matters to me. I was gonna say one more thing. Fuck. I want to watch that Jeff Jarrett. This is not what I was gonna say. I want to watch the Jeff Jarrett Stone Cold. I want to watch that because I know those guys always had like some beef. So I think
Well, let's finish on a positive note.
Jeff Jarrett was looking real jacked. That was
Comedy Poll Show looked insane.
Comedy Poll Show was actually insane the other night. What the fuck was this last wrestling thought I had? I'm going to talk about Comedy Poll Show in a second, but I think I might be able to grab it. I wanted to say it.
I love when we search into
Raw,
the depths
SmackDown,
of Dan Black's mind to find a thought.
Was SummerSlam? Well, shit. Oh, well. All right. Anyway, it was like out of the ring news, like someone who signed a contract or someone who was doing something, and I don't remember. Damn it! Hold on. I know this is dead air here. I know it's fine.
Someone that's signed.
What did I say? All right, fuck it. Not gonna have it. All right. Anyway, well, there was the thing that Sasha and they're talking about Sasha coming.
Yeah,
back
I mentioned that. Yeah, already.
Yeah, but you said that, but we already said that. All right. Anyway, I'll think of it for the next. I'll think of it later. I'll write it down. All right. Yeah. Comedy Poll Show the other night was a huge success. If you haven't been there, we do this show here in Los Angeles. How do I describe it? It's it's pole dancing and stand ups.
I think
the show is a great time.
I think I have an idea for Calmania 4 that I think would be a revolutionary night of fun that I will share with you off air. But
this is gonna be an off air thing.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Save it.
Kind of obvious. All signs are pointing to Comedy Poll Show needs to be involved in Calmania 4.
Are people? Is that what people are people saying? Now?
I'm saying it because I think it's a great idea. I have a great lineup in my head for Calmania 4. I'll share with you. I'll text it to you.
I for the Vegas show was trying so hard to get Christina a pole.
Yeah.
So that she could do a pole dancing intro for me, and they were like, pole is such an annoying thing. It's like these poles have to be installed. It's a whole other thing I'm learning about,
Mm-hmm.
But that show was fucking great. We had Reggie Watts on the show. We had Chad Gabris on the show.
Chad looked like Chad's thing looks so funny.
Chad Damiani's fucking great. Who was in By the way, he was the announcer for WCW.
We gotta get him. We should get him on the pod.
I should. Yeah, I'll get Chad back.
Get him up.
Chad's
Get him
great.
up. Hit Gabris up. Come on.
Funny. That show was awesome. If you're in LA, the show, it was fucking packed. It was great. I gave out a couple tickets to some jabroni hacks. So it was fucking awesome. That show's so packed it runs long that sometimes I can't even really do I don't get to really do a set on it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's more of a show I host, so it's a great time. So I get to kind of just I get to watch and enjoy.
You get to
it's
lurk
a
in the
lot
shadows.
of fucking work because I'm producing it. It's a lot of work, But boy, oh boy, these shows are just a great time. And the best part, truthfully, for me is I get to connect a lot. It's like all the comics come on the show. A lot of, not all of them, I'm saying a lot of them I haven't seen since pre-pandemic, you know?
Yeah.
So I get to fucking hang out. It's a good time seeing people. It's just a bummer when, every time I call my parents, they're like, I heard COVID's going up. And I'm like, hey, stop talking about COVID. I'm been just completely ignoring it, and it's going well for me. You know, you know what I mean? Because I'm due for round 3 like any day now.
Yeah.
Like
I thought I felt it after Nashville. I was like,
Right,
I'm not feeling too hot today.
right. Like every day, I just go, oh, this is probably when I get COVID.
My
But
friend,
yeah,
my friend got it, and he got it fucking bad. He went home for a wedding to New York, and
Really?
half the wedding got it. It's like,
oh, was that Frankie's wedding?
yeah. No, it was. It was.
No, it wasn't Frankie Venezia's wedding. I was actually being serious.
No. He went home.
okay.
He went home for his sister's wedding.
Because I saw Dan Lerman.
Dan Lerman.
Came to last improv show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. He lives out in L.A. now. This is the guy who went to high school with me.
Nice.
And
he's a funny dude.
He was a nice guy. He's a great guy. And then yeah. Anyway, shit's crazy. I'm fucking burnt out like a motherfucker lately.
Mhm.
I'm producing all these shows. I'm back in action, baby. I'm working again. I'm getting my fucking mojo back. For the longtime listeners, you know, my life it hasn't been all fucking sunshine and rainbows the past couple of years, but no one's has, which is why I don't really complain on this pod. You know, no, it's not like anyone's been having a dope ass life. You know what I mean? Except for fucking Bezos. Like if you, you know what I mean? But boy, oh boy, does it suck because like I booked a job. I can't really talk. I like signed the whole, like, you know, I can't sign a job. I booked this job, whatever, irrelevant. But like, the point is that like the way acting works now, right? You book an acting job, which is a gamble to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're auditioning, so you have to like get through that whole process, and then after that, they put you through a COVID test, and then you're like, man, you beat the odds of booking a job, essentially, right? And then it's just up to you. Can you dodge a virus? You know? You know what I mean? You're like, fuck, I lost a job that's like a gamble to get, and then I'm taking another gamble, you know? It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's just
wild.
fucking crazy. And it's like, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't have like strong. I'm not educated enough in this way. But like, you know, what are we gonna just like have COVID protocols forever? You know,
Listen,
like,
man.
because it's like some people are wearing masks. If we're all not wearing them, they're not protecting any. Right? That's what they say. They're not really protecting it.
You're protecting yourself at this point.
Is that true though? Because isn't it that when you wear a mask, you're protecting other people from you mostly?
Well, you're protecting other people, but you're also protecting yourself. Like you'll have a better shot of not getting it if you're not.
The way I understand it, it's similar to vaccine, is that the masks mostly help other people from you. So if you're all wearing them, you're protected. But then also doctors wear them, right? And then patients aren't wearing them. So that can't be true. So, you know, 3 years into this fucking pandemic, and I don't know basic facts.
We still don't have it figured out, and we never will.
And we never will. All I know is that it's unfair to take a job away from me. You know.
All I know is that WWE is back, and that's all I care about.
I know, it's great. We didn't talk about AEW once on this. I am reading that Kenny Omega is set to return.
Right.
That should be dope. And we'll talk. We'll watch. I watched Dynamite last week. We just didn't talk about it.
I actually don't think I watched Rampage.
I don't think I saw Rampage. I actually read that Rampage's numbers are way down. But it's the summer, so it's like Friday night in the summer.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get out of here, Tullo. Good shit, man. SummerSlam was a fucking blast.
Great time.
If you didn't watch it. I think that my opinion is that Manias and SummerSlams, they should really consider doing more of them outside. You know?
Yeah.
I really like an outside West Coast event where the sun goes down, or like Nashville's not West Coast, but it's the same time zone as you.
Well, SoFi's has a roof, but lots of like. Really?
SoFi's. I mean, I haven't been to SoFi actually, but I know SoFi's very dope. A very dope arena, but it won't feel outside like Nashville. I like.
Yeah,
that.
but I think you'll be happy that like you'll still get sun that comes into that building, but like you're not gonna be getting killed with the sunshine and stuff. Yeah.
Well, when I went to Levi Stadium for me,
Yeah.
it sucked ass. I was burning. Like I was like,
That's what I'm
once the sun went down, it was great. You
That's
know.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. But there is a thing I really adore when like a Mania starts in the sun.
Well, that's
and
what
then
was
it gets
great
dark.
about SummerSlam. So
Yeah, it was
out
great. All right, let's get out of here, everybody.
All right.
We'll do a bonus episode later on in the week, and everybody, patreon.com/comedianswrestling, and everybody keep watching Wrestling Kisses. Cheers
Eat
up.
my ass.